Hello world! Welcome back to another Python video. In this video, we will be discussing the string data type. We have demonstrated the use of strings in several of our previous videos. To reiterate, strings are values that are surrounded by single or double quotes. In other languages, single and double quoted strings are treated differently, but in Python, they are treated the same. Let's define a string variable that says hello world. Values in a string can be accessed by referencing their indexes enclosed in square brackets to the right of the variable call. Let's print the fifth character of our string. The fifth character is O, but we use the index of 4 to grab the fifth character. That is because in programming, indexes of strings, arrays, or whatever you're referencing always start at 0, unless defined otherwise. So, if we wanted to print just the H from Hello World, we would reference 0 instead of 4 in our print statement. Negative indexes can be used to access string values starting from the end of the string and moving towards the beginning of the string. If I wanted to grab the bang from our string, then I could simply just use a negative index instead of counting the length of the string to figure out what the positive index is. Let's try it. Notice how we were able to grab the bang using a -1 for our index. When dealing with strings, it's important to know about escape characters. Escape characters are non-printable characters that are denoted by a backslash before the character identifier. They are often used to add whitespace to a string such as newlines, carriage returns, spaces, and tabs. Let's demonstrate the use of an escape character. Let's throw a \n in between the hello and the world of our string to print the two words on separate lines. As you can see, our \n was not displayed, but hello and world are now on separate lines. There are several other escape characters, but this is just one of the most prominently used ones. In several languages, there is often a substring function offered by the language. Python does not have one of these functions built in, but it does use a method called slicing in order to simulate the same effect as what a substring function would do. Slicing involves using a colon to slice from the left index inclusively of the colon to the right index exclusively. Specifying no index before or after the colon will grab the whole string until or after whichever other index is specified. Let's demonstrate slicing with our original Hello World string with a few examples. Our first and second examples both print out the substring hell from Hello World, because having a 0 versus not having a 0 produces the same result. Hell was printed because these examples print all characters up to the 4th index, which would be represented by 3. The third example starts at the 6th index, W, and prints all characters up to the bang. But it excludes the bang because the value at the right index of the colon is excluded from the sliced string. The last example prints world with the bang included this time because we left the right index value after the colon blank. So we told our string to slice everything from the W in world to the end of the actual string. Now, strings do have several methods that you can use to manipulate them. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I will go over some of the more prominent ones so that you can get an idea of how methods can affect string values. Let's take a look at each series of methods that I have written. Our first series of methods manipulates the case of the string. .upper changes all alphabetical characters in the string to uppercase. .lower changes all alphabetical characters in our string to lowercase. And .swapcase swaps all the cases of the alphabetic characters in our string. Our second series of methods checks the character types involved with our string. .isAlpha checks if our string is solely comprised of all alpha or alphabetical characters. IsDigit checks if our string is solely comprised of all numeric characters, 0 through 9. And .isAlNum checks if our string has both alpha and numeric characters. Notice isAlNum is the only function that returns true because our string is comprised of both alphabetic and numeric characters, and not just one or the other exclusively. Our third series of methods performs operations and extracts information from our string. .replace replaces all instances of one character with another character. As you can see, all of the O's in our string were replaced with zeros. .split will divide our string into a list using whatever character or characters are in the parentheses of the split function as the delimiter. The len method just checks the length of our string. Our fourth and last series of methods manipulates whitespace in our string. .strip removes any arbitrary whitespace characters from before and after our string. .lstrip removes any whitespace from the left side of our string. The whitespace on the right side of our string will remain as is. rstrip removes any whitespace from the right side of our string. The whitespace on the left side of our string will remain as is instead this time. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to strings is how you can iteratively access every character in a string. We can do this by using two different loop conditions. The first way we can iterate through a string is by looping from 0 to the length of a string, referencing each index value along the way via a for loop. This can also be done via a while loop, but using a for loop is easier. Using our same hello world string, let's loop through the aforementioned method. The benefit to this method is that our index I is something that's value we can easily access and manipulate, if need be, for each iteration of the for loop. Our print statement prints the index and the character at each index in our string on separate new lines. The other way we can iterate through a string is by looping through each character in the string via membership operators. Using our hello world string again, let's demonstrate this method of looping. The benefit to this method is that it's much quicker to write out than the other method, but you would have to define a separate index counter variable that increments each time the loop iterates if you want to keep track of the index. This is because we no longer have access to the index variable that was defined in the conditional of the other looping method for accessing every character in our string. And we're done scripting for this video. If you enjoyed the content discussed in this video, please drop a like and subscribe to show your support and help the YouTube algorithm to better interpret the channel. Stay tuned for more videos, and please provide any feedback, good or bad, we don't discriminate, in the comment section down below. And don't forget to join our Discord community, link in the description down below, and check out these other videos that may pique your interests. Thanks for watching, and this is Almond Milk signing out.